One of these fighter jets got $5 billion this year, the other got $74 million. That's not a typo. That's what happens when a 5-star general and a gridlocked Congress disagree about which war matters more. Because right now, America isn't building one 6th-generation fighter, it's trying to build 2 at the same time with the same small pool of aerospace engineers. And by August, we'll find out if one of them even survives. Stick around, because the story of how one of these programs almost died and got saved almost by accident is stranger than anything in the official press releases. Before we dive into this topic, welcome to JGene, where we continue to break new ground in military aviation. Now, to support us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's get one thing straight before we go further. The F-47 and the F-A-20X are not the same program. They share a name, Next Generation Air Dominance, and almost nothing else. One belongs to the Air Force, one belongs to the Navy. And for most of this year, only one of them had a guaranteed future. Both trace back to the same idea from over a decade ago: a stealthy manned fighter flying alongside a swarm of autonomous drones, all networked together on the same battlefield picture. The Air Force called its version NGAD. The Navy called its version FAXX. Same concept, 2 completely separate budgets, 2 completely separate fates. History. Here's what most coverage skips entirely. Back in 2024, the Air Force actually paused its own NGAD program for months, worried the projected cost per aircraft was spiraling towards something close to 3 times an F-35. There were serious internal arguments about whether a crewed fighter was even the right call anymore versus just building more drones instead. Then leadership changed, priorities changed, and the program came roaring back as the F-47 in early 2025. With a level of urgency that looked almost like the Air Force was trying to make up for a year of hesitation in a matter of months. The Navy's program never got that same dramatic pause and comeback story. It just had something quieter and arguably worse: years of underfunding that nobody outside the Pentagon was paying close enough attention to. 547 section started with the Air Force's jet, because its story is almost boringly straightforward for a stealth fighter program, which, in this business, is basically a miracle. In March 2025, Boeing won the contract, beating out Lockheed Martin for a program that could be worth hundreds of billions of dollars over its lifetime. 6 months later, the first airframe was already under construction in St. Louis. The F-22, for comparison, took years just to go from paper to metal. The Air Force wants at least 185 of these jets, with some officials floating even higher numbers if funding holds steady. Combat radius past 1,000 nautical miles, top speed above Mach 2, first flight targeted for 2028. As of early this year, the program's own leadership called it on time and on target, a phrase that almost never survives contact with a fighter program this ambitious. Boeing's advantage wasn't luck. Years of secret X-plane flight testing, some of it going back to 2019, let them build a full digital twin of the aircraft before a single physical prototype ever existed. That's how you go from signed contract to metal cutting in 6 months instead of years. The F-47 isn't designed to fly alone either. It's meant to act as the quarterback for a squadron of uncrewed, collaborative combat aircraft, drones that can scout ahead, jam enemy radar, or even carry weapons, all directed by the single pilot sitting in that cockpit. That's the real bet behind this program. Not just a faster, stealthier jet, but one human managing a small robotic air force around them in real time. There's just one problem nobody likes to say out loud. No pilot has ever flown this aircraft. Not once. Every training syllabus, Every simulator profile, every emergency procedure is being written from scratch for a jet that won't physically fly for 2 more years. Even the name is politically fragile. At Davos in January 2026, Trump himself joked that if he didn't like the aircraft, he'd simply take the 47 off it. When a fighter jet's official designation depends on one man's mood, you start to understand how strange this entire program really is. FIXE section. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. The Navy has its own version of the same idea called the FIXE, and for most of this year, it was basically left for dead. Lockheed Martin was eliminated from the competition back in March 2025, leaving just 2 contenders standing: Boeing, fresh off winning the Air Force's jet, and Northrop Grumman, the company that built the B-21 stealth bomber and understands radar rading design better than almost anyone else on the planet. Then came the budget request. In the 2026 request, the Pentagon gave F/AXX $74 million. For context, that's less than the cost of a handful of F-35 orders for a program meant to eventually replace the Navy's entire carrier-based strike fighter fleet. Officials said the quiet part out loud. The US Army Aerospace Industrial Base might not have enough qualified engineers to build 2 sixth-generation fighters at the same time, so they picked one, and it wasn't the Navy's. South. Congress didn't accept that answer. Lawmakers from both parties pushed back hard, arguing that walking away from a carrier-based stealth fighter while China builds its own would be strategically reckless. Eventually, they forced through close to $900 million in emergency funding just to keep the program breathing through the next fiscal year. Added up across the separate bills, and FAXX has called back well over $1.5 billion in funding it was never supposed to get. That's not normal. That's a program getting resurrected in real time while almost nobody outside the defense press was watching closely enough to notice. And the timing here isn't cosmetic. The Navy Super Hornets are wearing out faster than expected after years of heavy operational tempo, including extended strike operations in the Middle East. Meanwhile, China keeps fielding new threats at sea. The J-35 stealth carrier fighter, the J-36 sixth-generation aircraft we covered a few videos back, and new airborne early warning platforms flying off its newest carrier, the Fujian. The Navy doesn't have decades to sort this out. It may not even have one. If you're new here, this is exactly the kind of story we chase every week. The parts of military aviation that don't make headlines until it's almost too late. Hit subscribe if you want to be here the moment the August decision drops. Engineering section. Here's the part almost nobody explains properly. Making a 6th-generation fighter stealthy is hard enough when it only has to take off from a 2-mile runway on dry land. Now put that same airframe on an aircraft carrier. Suddenly you need wings that fold without wrecking the radar-absorbent coating along every scene, landing gear reinforced enough to survive what's essentially a controlled crash onto a moving flight deck over and over for a 30-year service life, and an airframe that can sit in salt air for decades without corroding from the inside out. Then there's the catapult. Every carrier launch slams roughly 3 to 4 times the force of gravity into the airframe in about 2 seconds through a nose gear built to take that punishment thousands of times over the life of the jet. Land-based fighters like the F-47 never have to solve that problem, not even once. Weight is the real enemy here. Every reinforcement you add for carrier operations, the stronger gear, the tail hook, the folding mechanisms, adds weight the engineers then have to claw back somewhere else, usually from fuel or weapons capacity. Historically, naval variants of shared aircraft families end up carrying somewhere around a 15 to 20% weight penalty compared to their land-based siblings, and every added pound works against stealth, range, prop mass, 10%, and speed all at the same time. That's why Boeing and Northrop Grumman's public renderings look almost identical to their land-based cousins on the surface, but underneath it's a completely different engineering fight. Northrop's April 2026 concept shows a tailless design with a wide nose and rear-mounted air intakes, though even the people covering it admit that a lot of the internal details are still educated guesses, not confirmed facts. Why it matters? Zoom out for a second, because this isn't just an accounting story. China isn't waiting around for Washington to sort out its budget fights. Its navy is already flying early carrier-based stealth fighters and building the infrastructure to project power across the Pacific from the deck of a moving ship. If the FAXC slips another 2 or 3 years while the F-47 sails ahead untouched, the Navy could find itself flying an increasingly outdated strike fighter into the most contested waters on Earth against an adversary that didn't blink. That's the real cost hiding inside a budget line item almost nobody outside Washington pays attention to. It's not abstract. It's the difference between a carrier air wing that can survive contact with modern air defenses and one that can't. Takes and Cliffhanger, which brings us to August 2026. That's when the Navy says it will finally pick a winner between Boeing and Northrop Grumman for FAXX, assuming nothing slips again, and this program has slipped before more than once. Whoever wins walks away building America's second sixth-generation fighter in under 2 years. Whoever loses may have just watched their last realistic shot at building a crewed fighter jet for a very long time, and possibly the last shot for their stealth engineering teams to stay together as a workforce at all. And here's the twist that should worry you. Boeing is already building the F-47. If Boeing wins FA-22-2, one single company ends up controlling both of America's next-generation fighter programs. At the exact same moment, the Pentagon admitted it wasn't sure the industry could handle even one at full speed. If Northrop wins instead, the Navy gets a team fresh off building the most advanced stealth bomber in the world, but now split across two massive, simultaneous programs of their own. Two fighters, two branches, one industrial base that might not be big enough for both. When that August decision lands, we'll be back with the full breakdown of who won and what it means for the next 20 years of American air power. If you want to see how China's own sixth-generation program stacks up against both of these jets, go check out our video on the J-36, it's linked right there. Until then, which one do you think actually survives contact with Washington? Let me know below. If this video gave you something to think about, hit the like button. It matters more than you think for getting this content to the right audience. Subscribe if you want to keep following the F-47 program, 6th gen developments, and everything that is reshaping the future of air power. We cover this every week, and the next few years are going to be worth watching very closely. If this kept you watching this long, you know what to do. Like it, subscribe, and hit the bell. Until the next time, clear skies.